Hey there! Today I'm looking at the Lumecube Panel Pro 2, but to be completely transparent, Lumecube sent me the light, but they haven't asked me to make this video, nor have they any control over the content. Well, here it is, an upgrade to the original Panel Pro that was introduced back in 2020. In the box you get the Lumecube RGB Panel Pro 2, including a white diffuser lens that clips onto the light, and it's already fitted. There's a braided USB charging cable, a 1/4" 20 cold shoe camera mount, a cloth travel pouch with drawstring, and finally a card with QR codes to download the Lume Control mobile app. So what's new and exciting about version 2 of the Panel Pro? Well, compared to the original, it's 11% brighter in bicolor mode and a whopping 400% brighter in RGB mode. You also get 20% more battery life, and the color temperature range has doubled. It now goes down to a warm 2700 Kelvin and up to a cool white 7500 Kelvin. Behind a frosted cover there are 204 LEDs with a CRI of 96. That means colours are rendered more accurately. You can also adjust the green magenta tint. For added durability, the body is made from metal. That helps to make the light drop proof. But the final change can help you shoot for longer. The light can also act as a power bank and can be used to charge your phone or camera, which is also a feature available on the Lumecube Ring Light Pro. I've recorded a video review about that, and I'll put a link in the corner if you want to watch it. Although not new, Bluetooth wireless control from your phone is also included. The Panel Pro 2 is about 6 inches wide by 3 inches tall and 0.4 inches thick. That's similar to my Samsung A53 5G phone. All the controls are on the right side, beside the LCD screen. The blue mode button toggles between the menu items. Just below that, there's the adjustment dial to change selections or values. The final control is the power switch, up for on and down for off. And right at the bottom there's a USB port that's for charging the light or for charging other devices when you're using the light as a power bank. So let's turn it on. After a slight delay, the light turns on, and it's surprisingly bright for its size. You'll also notice that the LCD screen on the back comes to life. At the top there's an estimate of the remaining battery power, and below that, in yellow, there's the current mode, either bicolor, that's CCT/FX, or RGB, which is HSL/set. In CCT/FX mode you can change the brightness, color temperature, and green magenta tint. Scene and frequency refer to the pre-programmed effects, which I'll come back to later. When you change to HSL/set mode, you'll be changing the light according to brightness, color, and saturation. This is also where you can toggle Bluetooth on and off. While you can easily make these adjustments on the light, when I'm filming myself, I like to use the Lume Control app on my smartphone. That's because it saves time, because I can immediately see the results as I change the settings. Whereas if I was using the controls on the light, I would have to make the change, go sit down, take a test shot, then go back and check it on the camera. To download the app, scan the QR code on the card that comes in the box, then fire up the app. Make sure that your light is turned on and the Bluetooth is enabled on the light and your phone. Then pair the light with your phone using the Lume Control app. Tap Bluetooth pairing, then look for the device in the available devices list. To the right of the device name, tap on the light icon and your phone and light will connect. You can now control the light from your phone, but of course you can still use the controls on the side of the Panel Pro 2. You can use the included cold shoe camera mount to mount the light on your camera. It screws into one of the 3 threaded 1/4" 20 mounting holes on the side of the light. Then slide the cold shoe plate into the camera's hot shoe. Finally, tighten everything with the 2 locking thumb screws. But here's a quick tip for you. Get a speedlight stand like this one. Put the mount onto the light and then slip the plate into the speedlight stand and tighten up the thumb screw. And now the light won't fall over on a flat surface or tabletop. Now, if you need to tilt the light at all, then what I would do is get a phone holder like this one from Ulanzi. It's got a cold shoe plate at the bottom, so you can mount it on your camera or on the speedlight stand, and then you can tilt it forwards or tilt it backwards, however you need. If you want to support this channel, I'll put an affiliate link to this and to the light in the description. It helps me make more videos like this, and of course you can also like, share and subscribe. Now, what does footage look like that's been lit with the Panel Pro 2? I recorded a sequence last night in my garden in total darkness. The light was mounted on my Canon R6 camera. I used a 35mm f1.8 lens and an ISO of 800, and I was 6 foot from the camera and light, which is probably a little bit more than you would do in a vlog. At the moment I'm using a color temperature of 5600 Kelvin, which is daylight, but because this is an RGB light and because I can control all the light and the color from the app, we can do things like this. So now there's a color wheel in the middle of the app, so you can actually roll your finger around that color wheel and the color of the light will change accordingly. But you also have presets. There's a red, green, blue and yellow preset. So here's the red, now onto the green and onto the blue, and finally the yellow. Before I go inside, I want to show you another feature that you've got on the Panel Pro 2, and that's the pre-programmed effects. There's several of them, and you can control them from the back of the light or from the Lume Control app on your phone. So this at the moment is 5600 Kelvin color temperature light, so that's daylight. But what I'll now do is I'll select Loop. And what Loop does is it loops through all the different colors available on the light. So you can chill out to a lovely color scheme, or just put it in the background, point it at a wall, and those colors will cycle through. So quite a nice effect to have going on in the background. After that, you've got the strobe effect, and you can change the frequency of the strobe from 1 flash a second to 10 flashes a second. Now I'll move on to the lightning effect. And this is meant to simulate lightning. Out here in the total dark, I'm going to go from being lit up to completely dark. I'll now move on to the fire effect, and the color gradually changes, and that will randomly changes. There's reds and orange and yellows in there, and this really is meant to simulate me being in front of an open fire. Now at the moment, because I want you to be able to see me clearly, I've got the light far too high up. For this effect, you'd have it lower down. The next one is candle, and this is meant to be what a candle would look like. Now this is far too bright for a candle, so you'd need to bring the brightness down. After that, you have got siren, which is emergency vehicles. I'm not going to have this on for very long, but there you go. And then finally, you've got the TV. So this simulates me sitting in front of the television, and the brightness from the television will vary. And again, you'd probably take the brightness down, and then periodically, in a random fashion, the brightness will also change. So those are the pre-programmed effects that you've got on this light. If you use a camera or phone that can be charged while shooting video, the Panel Pro 2 has a neat feature. The 4000 mAh capacity battery can also function as a power bank, as I've already mentioned. So if your phone or camera can be charged while recording, that means you can shoot for longer. Which brings me to the battery life. At 50% brightness, you'll get up to about 4 hours, and at 100%, you'll get around 2 hours of use. Although there's the usual battery indicator icon on the LCD display, the remaining time is also displayed, with the time intelligently adapting to any changes that you make to the power settings. You charge the light using the USB-C port. In my test, it took an average of 1 hour 48 minutes to fully charge the battery. I've already shown you how you can use the Lume Control app to control the color temperature and brightness, or fine-tune the hue, brightness and saturation in RGB mode. But I also wanted to mention an interesting feature of the app that might not immediately be obvious, and that's color matching. Tap on the color picker in the app, that's just below the color wheel and just on the left. Then point your camera phone at a part in the scene that you want to match the color of, and then tap on pick color. The camera window on the phone will turn to that color, as will the color of the light. So that's a neat way of getting your lighting to match the scene. Now let me show you some images where I use this light. For a change from seeing me, I'm going to be using a bust of William Shakespeare as my subject. First, here's an image with the light on my camera, and it's typical of a vlogging shot. But you can use this light to be more creative with your lighting. For instance, you can place it above and behind the subject as a rim light, or have it at the side to create a split lighting effect. You can place it directly above the subject as a top light, and remember, it's an RGB light. Here I've got some daylight coming in from the window that's on the right and beside the camera, but I've added a color accent from the left side. You can choose any color that you want, such as this pink. So the LumeCube Panel Pro 2 is a versatile creator tool. You can use it in so many different ways, from a main on-camera light to adding loads of creative touches, including those pre-programmed effects. I also love that although it's bright, it's small enough to slip into a pocket, so I always have a light to improve my on-the-go videos. Thanks for watching, and if you want to support this channel, you can use the links in the description or just like and share. And for more videos on creating your own audio, video and images, please subscribe. Until next time, keep creating.